Hey, and welcome to another Political Blitz episode where I, Chris Clemens, try to break down political ideas and issues in 5 minutes or less. Today I wanted to talk about freedom. Everybody likes to think that they're free individuals, that they are in a free country, one of the freest countries in the world. But very few people ever actually stop and assess how free they really are in comparison to other countries. Now, most people would say, well, I'm free because I can choose to do whatever I want for a living. And while that might be true to an extent, that's true in the majority of countries on the planet. So that's not necessarily a special category in which America finds itself. So let's actually talk about what it would mean for you to be a free individual. Number one, you would need to be able to own property, actually have possessions, worldly possessions, be able to essentially have the rights over those and choose to do with them as you will. However, when you look at government structures today, things like the EPA and other regulatory structures, they tell you how you can use your own property. When you look at the states, they all actually apply property taxes, estate taxes, registration for your car, luxury taxes. When you really think about, do I own the property that my home is sitting on or my home at all? Well, what happens if you don't pay that property tax? What happens if you don't pay that property tax multiple years in a row? What's going to happen to you? Nothing good. What other things actually does it take for you to be a free individual? Well, let's think about the right to own your own labor, your own production. Well, thanks to the 16th Amendment of the Constitution, you no longer actually own your labor. See, when we talk about the income tax, Congress and the states who have also passed their own income taxes lay claim to 100% of everything you produce. Why do I say that? Well, the only thing it takes to change the actual income tax rate is an act of Congress. Your House of Representatives and Senate simply have to pass a bill that says we're going to tax 100% of your income. And they can do so. The president just has to sign the bill. So at the end of the day, not only does the federal government and state government lay claim to the land that you live on and your property, but they also lay claim to your income. So what about these other criteria that might make you free? Well, let's think about the right to your own health, the right to your own body, and the right to your own consciousness. Unfortunately, the federal government and state governments have all also claimed ownership of those things as well. Why do I say this? Well, if you're a sick individual and you need a medication that's in another country that's been approved and is a life-saving medication there, if it hasn't gone through the long, arduous processes that the FDA puts forth, you don't have access to that medication. And if that's the only thing that's going to save your life, well, unfortunately for you, you're going to die. So do you own your own health? You can't make actual real decisions about the medications that you take because they must be prescribed by a doctor due to regulations, and on top of that, if they are not approved by the FDA, you don't have access to them. You also don't have the right to purchase the foods you would like to purchase thanks to the USDA. If you would like to go down the street and purchase milk from your local farmer, that is an act that is technically illegal, thanks to regulations from your USDA. When we start thinking about, well, what about control over my own consciousness since I don't own my life and I don't own my health? Well, you also don't have control over that either. Other than alcohol and tobacco, you are not allowed to legally alter your state of consciousness by any means. So, do you believe that you're free? Well, let me go a step further. Up until very recently, the federal government could issue a draft requiring you to go to another country and fight people that you don't know. The draft has since been done away with, but theoretically, if Congress wanted to reissue the draft, they could. Again, proving to you that you do not own your body, your health, or your mind. In fact, the federal government and state governments have laid claim to you as a sovereign individual, a supposed sovereign individual, for some time. So the question is, folks, do you want to change that? If you like this episode, I encourage you to hit the like and share buttons at the bottom of your screen. Remember, I'm not accepting any large money donations, so every share and every like goes a long way. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.